Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News, June 29th, 2018. This late afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Dr. Claudia Albers, our Planet X physicist. Good evening, Dr. Albers.
Hello, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, I'm well too. Thanks.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you already know I made an announcement last week that we were going to be filming this documentary with a Russian TV station. It's actually a Russian television network. Let me just correct myself there. The name of the Russian television network is REN TV. I got an email from one of the assistant executive producers, and at first I thought it was, just a complete sham. You never know what these trolls throw at you, and I was a little leery of the communication back and forth. But as I did my own little investigation, I soon found out that the email was real. The television network in Russia was real. The people were real, and it was a real offer to do a documentary with Dr. Claudia Albers pertaining to Planet X News and our investigations into the solar system, what we've found out there in space. And during the filming, they touched on some other subject matters, and Dr. Albers will go over this information. And after 4 hours of filming, something came up to the point where there will be a future for Planet X News and Dr. Claudia Albers to now get out there and reach hundreds of millions of people, possibly. Now, if you look into REN TV, they've been around since 1997. It's a pretty big television news station network. I think at one point, Vladimir Putin himself owned shares in this television network. They're very, very interested in what we've been doing. The executive producer is a subscriber of Planet X News and Dr. Albers' YouTube channel. She's been watching us for quite some time. They decided to reach out to us, and they want to document what is happening and what we're investigating and what we're researching. In REN TV's day-to-day viewership, they reach 115 million people. Their online site, on their website, that is for people that are outside of Russia. That reaches tens of millions of people also. So that's fantastic. And I do believe that there will be an upcoming future with REN TV helping us spread the information, helping us show more people what we have found, what the implications are. And Dr. Albers has been spot on since the very beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all human, as they say. And yes, sometimes you do make mistakes. We try not to make mistakes, but we are giving you the majority of the time theories, hypotheses, and, well, plain cold facts. Observations and the photographs that Planet X News, myself, and Dr. Albers have discovered, as well as many other people, are undeniable. Okay? Undeniable. You can sit there and debate the subject matter all you want. You can sit there and try to debunk the photographs or video till you're blue in the face. So let me give a message out there to all of these little self-trolling organizations and the people who threaten me and Dr. Albers, especially this Mr. Chris Twatter out there in California. He is still persistently sending his little messages through his little goofy videos to me and Dr. Albers, trying to stir the pot, as we say, stir the potter. Well, Mr. Chris Potter, let me give you a direct line message right to your face. Buddy, it's not going to work. You should just simply crawl back under the rock where you came from and shut the hell up and leave us alone. You have literally turned yourself into what we refer to on the street as a narc, as a tattletale. So take that to your accounting. What are you going to do? Drop another dime on somebody like a 2-bit narc? Because that is exactly what you are. You have shown your true colors. That's why you do not have one friend in this entire world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the documentary interview with Dr. Albers, I want to touch on another subject matter real quick. Planet X investigator Jeff P. I don't know if any of you saw his last video or you saw my post on Planet X News. And matter of fact, real quick, give me 1 second. I want to go ahead and I want to bring that up. So let me work here in the background and bring that up. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Okay, now that I got that up, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, folks, this is the post that I put up about 1 hour ago, and it's in relation to Jeff P's latest video. And I'll just go ahead and read it for you. It says, Jeff P has fallen on some hard times, and it's due to him becoming a targeted individual like Dr. Albers and I and many, many others. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and you know damn well that, you know, we are targeted by whomever, you know, the little stupid troll babies in the comment section and in videos on YouTube, to the systematic emailing of ridiculous threats. But anyways, there are also deeper targeting mechanisms that do come into place. Now, Jeff P, I don't know if anybody knows too much about him, but, you know, Jeff P is a very, very educated individual, okay? He is not just some nerd on YouTube. No, Jeff is a professional. He's very, very highly educated, okay? He has a very good technical background, okay? So, you know, Jeff was terminated from his job, and, you know, some of the initial reports were, you know, it was based on what he was researching about his YouTube channel. You know, sometimes these companies are funny about that. So maybe they'll look for any reason to get rid of you, no matter how valuable of an employee that you are. Now, this has happened some time ago. Jeff has kept his mouth shut about it. But, you know, ladies and gentlemen, each and every one of us, we have a family, and we rely on our jobs and our income. I've had many conversations with Jeff, and, you know, we talked about this specific subject not too long ago. And I mentioned to him, I said, listen, you know, let's get out there and, you know, let's see if we can help you. And when I say we, I mean me, and I mean each and every one of you that listen to this video and you follow Jeff P. In the time of these types of crises, this is the best time to pull together as a people, as one. And if you can help in any way, well, listen, folks, that's fantastic. And I do my best. You can ask Dr. Albers how giving of a person I am. and I'm not talking about here on YouTube or Facebook, but in general, in my community, she has seen how I handle people that are in my presence.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a big heart. I'm a very compassionate and passionate person. That's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jeff is, right on the borderline of having some very serious financial problems that are going to occur within his family, if not happening already. Okay, so listen, this is not a pity party for Jeff P., but we all respect him. I respect Jeff as a friend, a confidant, and a fellow researcher and investigator. And he has come up with some intriguing information over the past couple of years, especially dealing with the sun simulator. Jeff was on the forefront in the beginning stages of this discovery and uncovering this information. So I'm just asking for all of us to try in any way to continue to stand by Jeff, share his videos, subscribe to his YouTube channel, and a GoFundMe account has been set up to help through these harder times until Jeff gets back into what he does for a living. There's no doubt in my mind that the information that Jeff has uncovered over the years has now placed him on that blacklist as being a possible targeted individual. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the description box. I will also have this link in the description box underneath this video. And listen, folks, whether it's $5, $10, whatever you want to contribute, it's up to you. If you can't afford it or you don't want to do it, hey, listen, it's no big deal. But just stand by Jeff, his YouTube channel, his research, and his investigations. And please respect him as a man who has put himself out there for all of us. And I'm sure all of you feel that way. Now, more information. Mm-hmm. Real quick, before we get into Dr. Albers and her interview. Excuse me. I'm going to save that for last. Here's the link for Jeff. And, so far, it's not going too bad. His video just hit the airwaves on YouTube. I'm going to go over here real quick. Oh, let me shut myself off. I'll put that link in the description box. Get that out there. We'll pin that right there. Hey, folks, listen, also don't forget the new merchandising agreement with Teespring and YouTube. All of our Planet X shirts, chemtrailing, logos, things of that nature. They're all right here on the bottom. You can click. You can help support Planet X News in that way, folks. You don't have to send in the donations or anything like that. I appreciate it, but I want you to get something for your money. And it also helps us spread awareness, because that T-shirt that you wear, whether it's to Walmart or, I don't care, to a wedding, okay, it's a walking billboard. It creates that conversation with somebody else. So think about that. If you want to purchase the shirts, I'll be updating some new designs here probably over the weekend. And they're not expensive, $22. So let's move into another big surprise. I'm not sure if all of you know Mike Adams. He has a very successful YouTube channel called The Health Ranger. I think Mike's fantastic. I've been listening to him for some time. I've actually taken a lot of Mike's advice in a lot of his videos. Not too long ago, Mike's YouTube channel was terminated by YouTube for some complete BS. Mike fought back and he won the battle. And his Health Ranger channel was reinstated back onto YouTube. YouTube is still censoring and filtering content throughout their entire platform. It is well proven. Now, I mentioned to all of you over the course of the last couple of weeks that Planet X News would be entering into a new video platform on the ground floor. Okay, meaning in the very beginning. I was asked to keep this information to myself as far as the name, and when things started to roll out, Planet X News will be in the beginning stages and on the forefront with Real.video. This is a fantastic platform, folks, and it is kind of designed similar to YouTube. However, there will not be any censorship. There will not be any filtering. And as all of us make real.video.com a household name, the bigger it will get. And more add-ons will come. And things will become more streamlined. So Mike is on the forefront and involved with Real.video. And so is Planet X News, as far as being one of their first channels that will be airing all of our videos on their platform. No longer will we have to worry about this censorship and this filtering of content. Now, I know the troll babies are probably frothing at the mouth at this point in time. You continue, troll babies, to choke on that foam in the corner of your mouth. Because, ladies and gentlemen, your channel has to be approved by Real.video. Your channel has to have content. As you can read right here, welcomed content channels include breaking news, natural medicine, liberty, spirituality, CBD, cannabis, self-defense, food and nutrition, science and technology, medicine, prepping, pets, do-it-yourself, politics, comedy, healing arts, education, animals, travel, and fitness. Okay, folks, so you just can't jump on there and open up a channel like you can on YouTube. See, YouTube opened up that platform for all of the disinformation and the troll babies. So the troll babies can basically run ragged on YouTube, and YouTube does nothing about it. This will not be tolerated, nor can it happen with this new platform, because your channel has to go through an approval process, meaning you have to submit information to Real.video and content, meaning you have to have videos already in production, and you pretty much have to have a successful YouTube channel that they can look at your content. If your content is debunking in a harassing nature, you can forget it. That's a fact. Now, real.video.com is also participating in not tracking you and tracking your information like Google and YouTube and Facebook. Okay, so as you read in this bottom line, Real.video is the new home for free speech on the net. Ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned to all of you quite a while ago and just recently that your rights as a human being in your own countries, okay, it's wearing thin. You're all seeing what is happening in the UK and in Germany and in France and in other countries and here in the United States of America, as well as in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, we are basically on the forefront of a complete free speech disaster. Constitutional rights in this country are falling to the wayside. Politics are freaking out of hand. Is it all a diversion? Probably. Probably. I find mainstream media, the news, actually pretty damn comical. Okay, with all of the disasters happening around the world, minute by minute, and thousands of people losing their lives each and every day because maybe they don't know about these impending disasters and the things that are happening to our Earth and what is happening within our solar system and what's happening out there with our sun. Maybe they don't know it because those big companies that control media, and they're controlled by someone else, they don't allow that information to get out, nor do they even report on it anymore. If things weren't happening the way they are in Hawaii with the Kilauea volcano and all of that activity, mainstream media probably wouldn't be reporting on it. However, there are several other volcanoes on this planet that are spewing their guts. Not as bad as Kilauea, but ladies and gentlemen, it only takes one major catastrophic volcanic eruption to get high in the atmosphere and disrupt everything on this planet as that ash gets into the jet stream and makes its way all the way around the world. We've seen it happen many times before. That will definitely have some effects on our climate, but that's a complete new live stream that we'll do. In the video that you see in the upper right hand corner of Mike, it's about 30 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I am going to give everybody a link to this video, and I want you to watch it. You can share it, subscribe to the Health Ranger on YouTube, and when Mike and Real Dot Video kicks everything off, hopefully on the 4th of July, this is going to be fantastic. Independence Day, the 4th of July in the United States of America, 1776. Back when there were, kind of real patriots, real men that were really driven by freedom. But on the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, they formed a government. And when you form governments, the word govern, I mean, just think about it. So in actuality, regardless of what government you belong to or live under, you're never really truly free. I hope you all understand that. But as I've mentioned before, we as a people, regardless of what country you're living in, we must, as a group, stand together no matter what. Because, folks, as they say, when the chips are down, there's going to be some people out there that that you need to trust and you can trust. I truly believe in the course of the last couple of years, we have formed that trust and we're all helping each other. That's what it's all about. For me, it puts a very, very warm spot in my heart and in the pit of my stomach. I can actually feel it. I can feel the emotion. That's what I try to bring to Planet X News. That's what I try to bring to each and every one of you. And again, I thank all of you for all of your participation, your personal investigations, your personal pictures and your videos and your comments and your emails. Trust me, I go through them. I can't answer each and every one of them, but I do read them. And I do try to get back to as many people as I possibly can. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have to look forward to. Something of a bright star in Real Dot Video. So Planet X News has been given the invitation. We've gone through the inspection process and they have awarded us our own channel. Excuse me. Now, what me and Dr. Albers are going to do, instead of having two different channels, we're going to have one channel. And Dr. Albers is going to be uploading her reports to the Planet X News channel on Real Dot Video. I'm going to be uploading onto that channel, and we're going to combine our efforts to keep everything under one roof, as they say. So when the time comes, we're going to start uploading our videos to real.video, and we do have the ability to share the URL for that video on real.video. So for you guys, nothing is really going to change. You're going to be clicking on a link. You can go and view the video, and you can also become followers. Now, some of the things on real.video are a little bit different. Mike's going to go ahead and explain that. I want all of you to listen to this, and I hope I have my settings correct on my sound. Let me just check here real quick. Let me just check something here real quick, folks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is wonderful, Scott.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, it's
people
definitely
are going to get to watch our videos, and we're going to get real numbers of views.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm hoping that the audio comes through using this Google Hangouts platform. It's not like using regular screen sharing properties where the sound comes straight through.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we'll let the folks in the live chat know. They'll let us know if they can hear the audio good.
All right, the long-awaited update on Real.video. This is Mike Adams here, the founder of Real.video, with a very important update. What's today? June 27th or 28th? I don't even know anymore. But this is a very important update on Real.video launching July 4th. And I'm going to, in this video, if you're interested, in being a content creator, I'm going to tell you exactly what features have made it into the early launch, what features are delayed. I'm going to talk about the launch of the e-commerce system behind Real.video and the affiliate program so that you can join that and actually earn revenues off your video channel, as well as our editorial content writing feature, you could say, to help promote your videos at no cost to you. So this is all good news. This is awesome news. As you know, YouTube censorship has continued to accelerate. A few months ago, I decided to launch Real.video. We've dedicated $1 million to funding this operation for the first year. We haven't spent all that money yet, but we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is not cheap to do. Even then, we had to really, really pare down the feature set to get to a feature, a smaller subset of features, really kind of very basic features that we could launch with in order to make a launch by July 4th. And even now, I'm not 100% sure that it's going to make it on July 4th. I honestly don't know exactly if it's going to hit that date, but we're going to have something there, even if it's just some of the special videos that certain content producers are going to be uploading. We'll have something for you on July 4th. And additional features will roll in, July 5th, 6th, 7th, and throughout the month of July. So on July 4th, here's what we're going to have functioning, at least this is our plan. You'll be able to request an account, get your username reserved. You'll be able to log in, upload videos. Those videos will be transcoded in about 7 different video formats automatically. This is all behind the scenes. You don't have to think about it. That way your video plays on mobile devices and iPhones and browsers, big browsers and small browsers and whatever. It's transcoding is a big part of this. But you don't have to think about it. And then you'll be able to, of course, edit the metadata of your videos, the title, the keywords, the description, and so on. We will be tracking video views. However, the video views do not update in real time. In the worst case scenario, they're going to update once every 24 hours. They may update more quickly, like every 6 hours or 12 hours. We're not sure yet, still building that part of it, but we know it will update at least every 24 hours, usually at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, USA time. Call it Central Time or whatever. So if you upload a video and it starts getting views and the view count says 0, don't freak out. It's just that it'll be updated later that night. And you'll be able to share the URL for your video. People will be able to go directly to that page and play the video. They'll be able to embed that video into any web page, and you can too. And it looks like the comment code will be working as well from day one. Now, our comments are powered by Discuss, which I'm not that happy about, frankly. It's just something that works for now. And we've used Discuss on other websites. It functions. The problem with Discuss, as far as I'm concerned, is that Discuss does track IP addresses and what else? I guess your email if you log in to Discuss. We don't like that kind of tracking. And long term, we want to replace Discuss with perhaps like an open source or some kind of comment system that we can license that does not track like that. But that's not going to happen on day one. These things take a lot of time and money. For day one, the comment system is powered by Discuss. So just know that they can track your IP address. Even though we aren't tracking it, they are tracking it. Speaking of tracking, by the way, we aren't tracking anything about end users. So there's no logins. You can't log in, which means you also can't subscribe to video channels. That's not a feature set that we have. There's a replacement for that we're going to roll out, not on day one. It'll take a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, but it's an RSS feed for the channels that you want to follow. An RSS feed allows you to follow new content as it's posted without you having to subscribe and log in as an end user, someone who views videos. You see, Google is evil. Google tracks everything about you. They track what you search for, they track what you view, they track the web pages you visit, all these things. Google is, it's like demonic techno evil, techno tyranny, right? And Facebook is much the same way as well. We are rejecting that model at Real.video. We want to know the least about you as possible. In other words, we don't want to know anything about you. As far as we're concerned, if you want to view videos, you should be able to view them anonymously. We don't want to know what you're searching for. We don't want to know your viewing habits. We don't want to build a psychological profile of what kind of videos you watch. Frankly, that's up to you. We're, pro-liberty people. Watch whatever you want. I mean, we're not going to track you for it. But there could be some components, by the way, that may track you, such as Discuss, as I mentioned, and we'll try to get rid of those components or replace those components over time. But we won't be tracking you. Now, if you're a content creator, as we call it, that's someone who's uploading videos, obviously, you have a login. So obviously we have a login, account for you, which means we know your email address and we know how many times you've logged in and so on. That's basic. I wouldn't even call that tracking. It's just basic login functionality. Without that, there's no way to even have login. So that does exist in the system, as you would expect. Okay, another big thing. We're launching an e-commerce system with the launch of Real.video. The e-commerce system, I can now reveal the domain name for that. It's going to be called shop.real.video. So it's just, if you think about a sentence, just shop real video, that's what the domain name is, shop.real.video. Very simple. There, it starts out as a duplicate of our Health Ranger store with over 600 products, survival and prepping products, natural health, nutritional supplements, natural skincare, green living, sustainable living, water filters, what have you, lots of things. And we're working diligently to add more to that store, and those things will be added automatically to shop.real.video. Now, the reason we have shop.real.video is twofold. One is that viewers of Real.video can choose to help support the network by just shopping at shop.real.video. And that, of course, gives us the funding that we need to be able to fund all of this. We're talking, easily this could start to cost us, over $100,000 a month in no time in terms of bandwidth and so on. $100,000 a month, just go like that, nothing. It's gone. So we got to sell some product in order to pay for that. So that e-commerce system, of course, helps us do that. The other thing is it provides you, as a video content creator, an affiliate system where you can earn revenue and share the revenues of the sales through that system, through shop.real.video. All you got to do is you sign up for the affiliate program, which will be available at the same time. And once you're signed up, and this functionality may not be there on day one, but it's right behind. It's coming. It's almost there now. There will be a shop button that appears beneath your videos on the play pages. So if someone comes to watch your video, there's going to be like a shop now button there. That button, once you're in the affiliate program, will be automatically encoded with your affiliate code, which means someone shops through that button and they're tracked. That shopper is tracked, I think, cookie tracked for like 90 days. I believe that's it. I'll have to double check. But you get credit for up to 90 days of that person's purchases through shop.real.video. And you can log in to the affiliate program, which is run by a very well-known affiliate management system. Forgot the name of it at the moment because I don't run that part of the company, but it's widely recognized among affiliate programs. You can log in there, you can see how many clicks, and you can see how many purchases, and you can change your pay to details and all that, and you get paid automatically through that system. So that's a near real-time system. You can see the purchases. You can purchase through that system yourself if you wish. You can have your friends purchase through there, whatever you want to do. That allows you to earn revenues for the people viewing your videos. The other thing that you can do, and that we encourage you to do, actually, is as your videos gain more audience, you can go out and attract your own sponsors. You can have corporate sponsors, or usually they're small companies or product plugs, things like that you want to incorporate into your videos. We don't disallow those things, unless there's some crazy, I don't know, like a crazy Ponzi scam or something that's totally not legit, scamming people. We would have an issue with that, but that would be a pretty extreme case. We don't anticipate running into a lot of that, by the way. So you are free to promote various things, including, by the way, people ask me this all the time. What about cryptocurrency? Can you promote cryptocurrencies? Yeah, you can promote cryptocurrencies. It's fine with me. I mean, I'm on the record being a little bit skeptical about some of the bubbleness of Bitcoin and so on, but I support decentralization of currencies. I support your right to talk about currencies, currency alternatives, that kind of thing. Now, if someone's promoting like a really, really scammy ICO that is for some reason so fraudulent that it's really illegal, blatantly illegal, we might have to take action on that. But again, that would be such an extreme rare case. For the most part, we believe that end users are responsible for deciding what they want to purchase. Like, it's not our job to be your parents. You know what I mean? It's not.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and just stop the video there. We've listened to almost half of it. I am going to put the link in the description box for Mike's video. And I've been following Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, for quite some time. I will admit, I've ordered some of his products. His products are fantastic. They're all natural. Dr. Albers, you being, I don't want to say health fanatic, but a very healthy individual. I see the way that your regimen is every single day. And you're familiar with the Health Ranger.
Oh, I'm very familiar with him. I've been reading his articles for many years. I've read a lot of his little ebooks on health. Yeah, I think they're very good. I really enjoy what he's done over the years, and obviously extremely intelligent person.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I wanted to just quickly add something. Ladies and gentlemen, getting into this type of endeavor, such as what Mike's gotten into with real.video.com, it's a beautiful, fantastic idea. And don't be so critical of the advertising plugs and the online stores, because, ladies and gentlemen, as Mike has stated, this endeavor is costly, very costly. It takes a lot of technical background to put together something like real.video.com. It does take money. What Mike has invested in, and what all of us are going to invest in, is this freedom of speech, this freedom of information, these freedoms that are being taken away from us. So, as I've stated in the beginning of this live stream, all of us sharing the information that is posted on a daily basis is critical, very critical. Helping to spread more and more of the awareness and the education about what is happening around the world is very critical. What Mike has put together is a beautiful thing. We're going to consider it a new tool for us to overcome the filtering and the censoring and the trolling operations. This is the way the Health Ranger and the rest of us are going to fight back. I applaud Mike Adams. I wish one day that Dr. Albers and I would be able to actually meet him and shake his hand. Oh, shit, I'll just admit I have to give the guy a hug. You know, but it takes a lot of balls and fortitude to step up to the plate like this man has done and create a platform for us to get the truth and more information out there. So my hat's off to Mike Adams. You have our full support and our full respect. No doubt about that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this link in the description box real quick. You guys can go check it out. Links in the description box. I will you know, if anybody has any questions about this, you know, you can let me know. Inbox me. That's the best way to get in touch with me. Inbox me on our Facebook page. Make sure that you are following our Facebook page. And, you know, something else, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you are saying that you're not seeing the content on Facebook from Planet X News. I can't really show you on my view of our Facebook page because the follow button doesn't show up. But whenever you go to Planet X News on Facebook and you click that you liked the page, you have to click that follow button. And under that follow button, it will say default, meaning you'll see some of our content, or you can click on it and it says see first. See first, meaning all of our content that we share will show up in your news feed, alerting you to a post that we have created and uploaded to Facebook. Okay, because Facebook's new algorithm, I will say this, it sucks. Every single day on my personal page, I see people complaining, why am I only seeing the same 25 posts from the same 25 people every single day? I have 500 friends. Well, that's because of the algorithm that Facebook put into place. These algorithms are governed by AI, artificial intelligence, and as YouTube, Google, and Facebook have said, their AI has the ability to learn. Well, ladies and gentlemen, AI, hence the word artificial intelligence, it's not a human being. So these algorithms make major mistakes. Maybe it's intentional on these platforms like YouTube and Facebook. Maybe it's not. I personally think that it is. Okay, so if you want to follow Planet X News, you got to click on that follow button and you got to click see first. That means you're going to see our content first immediately. It's going to show up in your notifications. It's going to show up in your news feed. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a share button underneath that video or that post. We ask you, we urge you to share it. It takes 2 clicks. That's it. You want to write something about it? That would be great. I know a lot of you are doing that. I appreciate it. I thank you and I applaud you. Now, let's get into the Russian documentary by REN TV. This was definitely an experience. I used to be into, you know, commercial production with the company that I worked for in advertising in South Florida for 22 years. I've been behind the camera. I've been in the studios, and a lot of things have changed. It's been a long time since I've seen this type of production, but it was definitely an experience for Dr. Albers. We met a fantastic cameraman. His name is Alex. He is from Russia, but he's been here in the United States for Dr. Albers, what did he say?
I think he arrived in 1994. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, 1994. He's been here, and he has a ton of experience. Great guy. You know, he definitely helped out with filling us in on REN TV and their reach, how many people they reach, and teaching us about their company. And it was all fantastic. Dr. Albers, I'm going to turn it over to you right now. And you want to go over your experience with your documentary taping yesterday?
Yes, well, it was actually very interesting. He first did the questions. It took ages to set up with the lighting and the cameras and the microphones, and everything's doubled up. So there are 2 cameras, there are 3 microphones, there's lighting behind, there's lighting in front. And then he started asking me the questions, and he hadn't really told me what the questions would be. So some of them were surprising, because he asked me something about my ideas on aliens and something on Planet X. And so, but it was very interesting. And then he had some other shots to do of me walking and me typing and me pointing at things and going through our books. So it was a little bit like being in a set and you know, acting in a movie. That part. So it was. I've never done anything like that before. So it was interesting. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It did take quite a while to do, but yeah, it was very interesting. And whilst I was going through the books, I was telling them about Planet X and how I had taken the observations, and through the observations came up with the theories, which are all built on the observations of these objects, how they interact with the sun. And it show basically they behave in a way which is different from what we expect from normal gravity and so on. So I explained quite a bit of all that, and so it was very nice. I really enjoyed the experience, and hopefully there will be more of that coming our way.
Yeah, by the way that that he sounded, and you know, I mean, he's just part of the camera crew, and he works out of our area. They have offices in New York, Washington, D.C., and also out in Los Angeles, California. So, you know, possibly sometime in the near future, we will actually get into a real studio setting and produce more documentaries, possibly even a short-term series, because there is so much information, you know, dealing with our subject matter, that it would be, you know, very hard to put it all into
yeah, and
one 45-minute sitting.
He also really liked the story of how I came into this research, and how I had, you know, the problem with the university that most people that get into this research always have. And as you explained about GFP, basically he's being targeted to the point that he cannot get a job. And I was targeted so that I had to leave my 17-year career at the university because of getting into this research. And others have found the same thing. James McCanney also was fired because of doing research he wasn't supposed to be doing. Other people have lost their lives, like Dr. Harrington and Dr. Schumacher. And, you know, so this is what happens. You are targeted because of trying to tell the world the truth.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I just put up one of our photographic discoveries.
Yes, indeed. And this is one of the ones that I showed him of, obviously an object very close to the sun. This object seems to be at least about a quarter of the size of the sun. There it is, very close to the sun. If this object was obeying normal gravitational law, it would impact the sun, but it's not impacting the sun. In fact, it's moving away from the sun within CME material. This is what we usually find. So you have to come up with a theory that explains these kinds of observations. This is why I came up with an explanation of how gravity really works. And it turns out that the gravity that Newton observed, you know, when the apple falls down, and he said, oh, but the Earth attracts objects just like the Earth attracts the moon. That's basically. And basically what he discovered, that theory that he discovered, is actually two forces acting together. It's the true gravitational force and the electric interaction working together. So that's the theory that I came up with. And these objects have shown us that true gravity is dependent on the energy inside the object. And these objects are very low in energy. That's why we all call them dead objects, dead stars. The smaller ones would be dead planets. And that's basically what we have here, a dead object, dead in terms of being depleted in energy.
Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we sent a complete file over to REN TV, you know, in coordination with the video documentary that Dr. Albers was asked to do. We sent them, I sent over probably, maybe 50 or 60 of our exclusive captures of this object out there near the sun. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, you can look at the pictures all day long, and, you know, you have to say to yourself, okay, you know, that's definitely not fake. It's definitely there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very, very strange. You know, how would you manufacture a fake photograph like this, or, you know, fake video that's coming directly from NASA joined, you know, websites that are owned and operated by the government, NASA, the U.S. Naval Observatory, you know, with SETI, Stereo, SDO, SOHO, all of them. Okay. So nobody's faking anything. Some remarks were made by the nutcase out there in California that goes by the name of Mr. Chris Twatter. You know, basically saying that it's all a charade, it's all fake. He was involved in this on the beginning stages, and he lied to everybody. Well, basically, ladies and gentlemen, when it came to the Planet X research, when he was involved with me and Dr. Albers, he wasn't lying about anything. What he was lying about was, you know, his friendship towards Dr. Albers and I personally knew from the very beginning that he was a shady character, out of control, and it seems that he has like multiple personalities. I knew from the very beginning who he was and what he was all about. And I knew that he would eventually turn into a yellow-bellied turncoat and what we refer to as a narc. You know what I mean? Ooh, I'm going to go tell on you. Ooh. Wow, that makes you a really big man. But anyways, folks, you know, over the course of the last couple of years, you know, making these discoveries, I mean, it has turned my life completely upside down. It has turned Dr. Albers' life completely upside down. But, you know, ladies and gentlemen, it just goes to show you that in this big, gigantic world that God gave us, and with all of the billions of people on it, I truly believe the calling from God to bring both of us together, Dr. Albers and I, was, well, I don't want to say a miracle, but it is also something very, very spiritual. I think about it every day. I don't talk about it a lot, but there is definitely that destiny factor that has occurred. There's no doubt about it. The discoveries that we've made in the course of time that we've been together, all of the reports that Dr. Albers has written, the books that we have produced for all of you to read, we put a lot of hard work into this. It does take hours. It is a full-time job, if you want to call it that. I don't like to really refer to it as a job, but I do it. You know, each and every day I'm up between 3:30 and 4 a.m. searching around the world, hitting my spots where I go to investigate and research and follow what is happening. It does take a lot of time. And I know, 99% of you do respect that. But we are going to continue. And I think everybody has the right to know what is happening out there in our solar system, because, ladies and gentlemen, it is now truly affecting our planet. What affects our planet affects each and every one of us, our futures and the present. It affects your children. Folks, I saw a newscast. It was coming out of the north central part of the United States. I want to say either Michigan or the Chicago area. I can't remember. I was so taken back by the news report, and it was of a 4-year-old little boy. His parents let him out in the backyard. He was splashing around in one of those little blow-up swimming pools. Parents really don't know anything about how high the ultraviolet rating was for that day. I checked it out. They were near a 13. The little boy was splashing around out there. No sunscreen, no protection. He was a light-skinned, little boy. His whole entire back pulled off from massive sunburn. He was hospitalized, and the little boy is actually fighting for his life. So, ladies and gentlemen, over the course of this past year, Mr. MBB333 has been nonstop talking about the ultraviolet rays and how intense they are. Right now, in the middle part of the country, the north central part of the United States is under a massive heat wave. Temperatures combined with humidity levels reaching 105. Kind of rare, if I might say. That same heat wave is also over the entire northeastern part of the United States, right where I live. Tomorrow, we are expecting a heat index of a minimum of 105. We should be at a temperature between 85, 86 degrees, somewhere around there. We do get some humidity here. Intense heat indexes of 105. So, folks, as I've mentioned before, what's happening out there with our sun is something that we have to pay very, very close attention to each and every day. You must protect yourself out there in the sun. Furthermore, please protect those kids. I know it's summertime, and it's going to be very hard to keep them indoors. But that type of prolonged exposure to their skin is deadly, is dangerous, and it is also for you. Now, I had somebody make a smart remark on one of my comments that I made about protecting yourself out there in the sun. And this lady said, "Oh, I live in Florida and I've never been sunburned in my entire life." Well, I looked at her profile picture, ladies and gentlemen, and she looks like an old beaten down leather baseball glove. So when your skin is as thick as leather and looks like wrinkled up leather, hey, more power to you, lady. But for the majority of people, please protect yourself, use some common sense. Don't let those kids out there like that unprotected. I know it's going to be tough, but you as parents, You have that obligation. And you also have that obligation to yourself. And Dr. Albers, what do you think about these extreme ultraviolet rays?
Yeah, the problem is, Scott, and as I've written in articles, I have shown that the measurements of UV radiation now reaching the surface of the Earth show that there's more UVC, and that's the high energy radiation, UV radiation that's never supposed to reach the surface of the Earth. But there is now more of it reaching the surface of the Earth than reaches the top of the atmosphere. In other words, it's more than the sun can produce, and more than could possibly get to the surface had we not had an ozone layer at all, which it has only one logical explanation. There is actually a source in the atmosphere. So this is the problem. We're not just getting UVA. We're not just getting UVB. We are getting UVC at the surface. And it's very damaging to living cells. It's ionizing radiation. It damages cells. It damages the DNA of the cells in the skin. And this is why it can do so much damage, especially to a 4-year-old child. So we have to remember that. It's not even normal UVA we're getting. We're getting UVC radiation. It's very damaging. It causes cancer.
Yeah, there are other parts of the United States and other countries that are experiencing this heat wave. And matter of fact, just give me 1 second here. Take a look at it's making headlines. I mean, I'm glad to see that, at least from mainstream comedy media. But right now, this is just one of the articles up by CBS News. Dangerous heat wave hitting the U.S. over the 4th of July weekend. Huh. Well, that's just Jim Dandy. All of a sudden, one of the biggest holidays in the United States, when 90% of people will be outside barbecuing with their family, doing whatever they want to do. The dangerous heat wave has now made its way across the United States. And, it states right here, National Weather Service posted a reminder Friday that heat kills more people each year than tornadoes, lightnings, anything else, folks. For all of you that like to take your dog or your cat or your bunny rabbit with you in the car, out shopping, doing your day-to-day, and naturally you can't take the pet into the store, you leave it in the car. Folks, please don't do that. Pennsylvania has a law that allows bystanders to smash your window to save your pet. Okay, so, try to keep your pets out of this heat. If you do have an outdoor pet, make sure they have plenty of food and cool water. Maybe you might even want to bring them inside until this passes. But there are going to be casualties from this 4th of July weekend, and it will be related to these extreme temperatures. So, folks, over the course of the next couple of days, possibly even into next week, please heed our warning and keep yourself up to date with your UV ratings in the area where you live. Keep an eye on the temperatures. Keep an eye on the weather. We're getting into the month of July coming up. There is a huge planetary alignment on the one side of the sun. And Mr. MBB 333 has talked about it. I mentioned to all of you a few months ago that moving into the it's not really an alignment, but all of the planets are all together on one side of the sun. So we're going to be following that very carefully. We don't know exactly what will occur as far as additional stresses on our planet, stresses on the sun, and the possible interactions with that massive object out there near the sun. So the month of July, well, actually from the middle of July to probably the end of August is going to be interesting. It may possibly be deadly as far as catastrophes around the world. And we'll be keeping a very, very close eye on it. Dr. Albers, as far as that that planetary alignment, I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, to tell you the truth, the effect on the Earth is tidal in nature. I think the fact that we have these ocean recession events shows that it's tidal. And the tidal effect, remember, the moon exerts a force on the Earth's oceans that causes the tides. But the gravitational attraction of the moon is 180 times less than the sun, because the sun is massive, massive objects, you know. But the moon has a much stronger effect on the Earth and on the tides because it's so much closer. So the fact that the Earth is experiencing these ocean recession events suggests that an object even closer than the moon is causing them. It's a tidal gravitational force. So planets out there on one side of the sun are not going, they may have a small effect, of course, but they're not going to increase the effect to such an extent. It is the objects, the stellar cores that are coming close to the Earth, that are orbiting the Earth, that are causing these problems. The volcanic eruptions, the fissuring of the Earth, the breaking up of the Earth's surface, the sinkholes. This is coming from objects that are close to the Earth. They're exerting tidal gravitational forces on the Earth. They have to be close. So there may be some effect. It may increase the stress on the Earth. The Earth is under increasing stress due to the effects of these objects absorbing energy from it. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But as you know, the Earth is under severe stress at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting time. There's no doubt about it. I was actually looking for a picture that Nemesis Maturity put up there. Let me just grab this picture real quick. Oops. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Go ahead and just share this. We could talk a little bit more about this.
Mm-hmm.
This was a picture that they had posted. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
Pretty cool from Nemesis Maturity. But, you know, and it's talking about all of these planets that will be on one side of the sun, all at one time. Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Earth, along with our moon.
Yes.
So, you know, how rare these events are. I'm not an astronomer. I don't delve into all of that. But knowing about the mechanics of these planets, especially Jupiter and Saturn, and our Earth, and our sun, and the monster lurking out there with the sun, our Planet X object or objects, knowing about their energy and their magnetic fields, all of these planets, all on one side of the sun, all at the same time, with possibly all of their magnetic fields interacting along with the sun. This just has to be a very interesting time to be observing all of this
Mhm.
to see what may possibly happen. Ladies and gentlemen, the best case scenario, nothing happens. Everything stays normal. But I don't think that's going to occur. I think we're going to see some very increased pressures on our planet.
Mhm.
I mean, what do you think, Dr. Albers?
Well, I think the effects of the Planet X system on our solar system will keep increasing. And one of the signs that I see that we are at a point where things are going to get a lot worse is the Hawaiian eruption, because that tells me that the inner core of the Earth has reached such a point and of increased temperature and pressure that it's erupting all the way to the surface, and I don't think it's going to stop. I've written about that, and it shows the pressure that our planet is under, and that's due to these objects pulling energy from our planet and causing our planet to warm up. Now, gravitationally, with this alignment, we have to remember one thing. The sun's gravitational force on our planet is so extremely strong compared with whatever the other planets can do, that gravitationally there won't be much of an effect. As you say, the magnetic field, there may be an effect from the magnetic fields of the magnetic field of, say, Jupiter, maybe, because it has a high magnetic field. But again, the sun's magnetic field will totally overwhelm that still. I have seen Wayne Steiger's latest video where he shows that the solar wind has just about died down in June. And that to me is very concerning. There are two possibilities about that. There could be a very large stellar core between the sun and the Earth, and that object may be absorbing the particles coming in the solar wind so that the solar wind is not getting to the Earth. But the magnetopause is still in position, so that I would say there is still some solar wind coming from the sun. It's extremely low, and that is very concerning. That shows that there may be a very large object now between the sun and the Earth and affecting our planet.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Things are probably going to get a little dicey.
Yeah.
Throughout the month of July, and well into August, possibly even September, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Learning about these dynamics of these planets, it's an ongoing process. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'll be the first to admit I'm not a professional astronomer or astrophysicist. I leave a lot of that up to Dr. Albers. She loves astronomy. She's been delving into astronomy since she was a little girl.
Yeah.
And just because she doesn't have that degree on the wall amongst her 5, 6, 7 degrees as an astronomer doesn't mean that she doesn't know what she's talking about. I listen to her all the time, and I converse with her on these subject matters concerning the dynamics of these planets in our solar system. And I do believe that we are definitely going to see some extreme anomalies, in the upcoming months. I definitely know that our seasons will be changing forever as time goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, I listen to these scumbag debunkers claiming that all of us are out here telling you that the end of the world is coming. I personally have never, ever said that the end of the world is coming. The Earth is always going to go through extreme changes. It goes through extreme changes naturally. But now, ladies and gentlemen, things have changed in our solar system, very close by to where our planet travels around the sun in that Goldilocks zone. So whenever you add another factor into that, meaning the factor of planet X, that X factor, things are going to change in that Goldilocks zone that the Earth travels in. And those changes are going to be Earth changes. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be fooled. The major governments around the world and their scientific communities know wholeheartedly that this is happening. Please do not be fooled by it. Please do not be fooled by the ridiculous debunking and defamatory videos that are placed out there about all of us. These people are probably hanging on the nutsack of George Soros. I don't personally think that they work for a government, but they do work for an opposition. So again, you know, maybe they have their heads so far up George Soros's rear end for that, you know, that little bit of money. I mean, we see the ads on Craigslist calling for paid protesters, paid disinformation agents, secret agent man. You know, these people are living in la la land when all of us are living in reality.
Mhm.
Now, there's a piece of video that I've been holding on to for about 5 days. I came in contact with this lovely woman out there in the state of Indiana. Her name's Gina. And, you know, Gina's been making some sky observations. She's been taking some video. And somebody put me in touch with her about a video that she had posted on her Facebook page. I went and I checked it out. And I was quite intrigued once again by what I saw. I have my own theories. Dr. Albers, she has her theory on what we're about to see. Debunkers, they claim it's a camera anomaly, but I mean, once you see the video, you're going to say, what the hell is this? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not the first time, nor will it be the last time that we see the anomaly of two suns in the sky. Just a couple of days ago, one of our Brazilian subscribers sent me a piece of video from a Brazilian news station. Dr. Albers, since you speak Portuguese as your native language, maybe you can translate that piece of video that we're going to watch. But the two suns appeared on the evening broadcast in Rio de Janeiro on the news, and we'll be checking that out. But Gina's piece of video is pretty intriguing. Like I said, I have my theory on what we're looking at. I contacted Gina about using her video, showing it to Dr. Albers, and allowing us to show all of you. All of a sudden, you know, she's now getting heavily trolled on Facebook. And Gina, if you're listening to me, don't let these people get to you. Just simply block them and keep your chin up. Keep doing what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I put together a higher definition portion of Gina's video. I also created the second half of it and converted it into a negative so we could get a better view of what we're looking at. So give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and share this with all of you. It's pretty interesting. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, okay, it's a little shaky because she was holding the camera. And I'll have to be quite honest with you folks. I mean, if I was holding a camera and I was looking at what she was looking at, I would be a little shaky too, because I would be saying to myself, WTF, you know, what in the hell am I looking at? What is going on? So this is the video that I converted for her in more high definition. And Dr. Albers, you want to go ahead and talk about this, what you're seeing?
Yes, Scott. I actually wrote an article about this, and it's clearly two suns. She sees two suns. One is white, and as we know, the sun within the Earth's atmosphere is not supposed to be white. It's supposed to be yellow. So the fact that we have a white sun means that it's most likely a sun simulator. And then you see the other one above, as you can see, it's dark orange, but it has a clearly spherical or circular outline, which the white one does not. As you can see, it has a misshapen, not quite circular outline, the white one. And this is what we usually see with the sun simulator, because they use a lens system in the atmosphere, sometimes holographic projections. And it changes shape as we would expect the atmosphere itself to change shape because of the density of the air would change. So the white one, the larger one, I believe is a sun simulator. As you can see, it almost seems to be in front of the orange one. Now, we definitely do not have one being a lens flare of the other, because as you can see, she's moving the camera and the aspect of the position does not change. Also, a lens flare is always of the same color as the real image, and the real image here is white. It's not orange, so that's not a lens flare. Also, they're not the same shape. A lens flare will always be the same shape as the real object. As you can see, the white one is misshapen. There's some almost straight lines in the outline, whilst the orange one is very extremely circular, like you would expect the real sun to be. The fact that they are so close together would suggest to me that the orange one is actually the real sun, and the white one is a sun simulator that's supposed to be in front of it, but somehow the system failed in this case.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I think over the course of time, when we've seen these types of videos, now some of them that I've seen are definitely internal camera anomalies, okay? But whenever you're viewing Gina's video, you're seeing background cloud cover that is passing in front of the well, I'll just call it the pink sun. That is the real sun. Now, folks, just go ahead and think back for all of you that are able to see impeccable sunsets. Remember, when the sun is going down, you see that pinkish, orangish ball all by itself right above the horizon. I believe right there, that's what we're seeing. And the sun simulator, I mean, you can clearly see the outline of it, perfectly circular. I mean, glowing bleach white and completely out of sync with our real sun. You know, a lot of you ask me when we talk about this sun simulator or this fake sun, you know, I know a lot of you are freaked out about it, but understanding the technology, they've been working on this technology, what, 50 years, maybe more than that. We have the documentation. Several YouTube channels and people have experienced and photographed and videotaped this from the Earth. We've seen it from the International Space Station. It is undeniable. It is there. And when we see videos like this, and I'll go ahead and continue to let it play, but when we see videos like this, this is what I thought about immediately. The sun simulator was out of sync with the sun, and Gina caught it. Now, I did stabilize this video, and let me go ahead back here just a little bit, and I'm going to stop it right there. Now, folks, come on, man. Let's be realistic here. You're going to tell me that this is an internal reflection of what she was videotaping? Nah.
No, it's not. And in fact, later on in the video, you can actually see as clouds pass in front that different percentages of the two objects or the two light sources are seen. And if it was an internal thing, you would always see the same percentage of both. As you can see here, there's quite a difference. You only see the third top part of the orange sun, and you see nearly the whole of the white one. So definitely not a lens anomaly. It's just impossible. And the other thing that's very interesting is that the two suns are still quite high up in the sky. Now, the real sun would only appear to be reddish or orange close to the horizon, or sometimes when it's touching the horizon. So the fact that this sun looks so dark orange shows that if it is our real sun, and which is very likely to be because it's in the correct position with respect to the simulator, it shows that our sun is now much weaker.
Exactly. Much duller.
Yeah.
In color and in its brightness.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies and gentlemen, again, this is one of the main reasons that they use the chemtrailing. The chemtrailing is used to obscure your view. Those thin, hazy clouds. I mean, come on, folks. You look up there, you see what it looks like. That was a still photograph. Let me go ahead and back that up real quick. I took this still photograph real quick, and I can't zoom in on it, but what I can do, I can't even take a screenshot of it, but I'll post it up on the Planet X News Facebook page.
I've actually written an article on this, Scott. I think it is on my channel. I think I've put it on your channel as well. An article that uses some of the screenshots from this footage, and I talked about the two suns in the sky.
Yeah, I just took a screenshot of it right now.
Yeah, that's good.
And we'll get right into it.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go, folks. I mean, that to me,
it's amazing.
Yeah, that to me is undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to call it looking at two suns, call it what you want. But I think what we are definitely looking at is the sun simulator completely out of sync with the sun.
Yeah.
Anomaly occurred. Gina was one person on this big planet that caught it.
Yeah.
And she's being ridiculed for it. The trolling operations, they've hit her Facebook page, and, she's probably new to that type of hatred. I'll eventually have a talk with her about it, just to ignore it, keep doing what she's doing. Yeah. And she's been publicizing a lot of what she's been viewing. And that's great, because it's people like that, ladies and gentlemen. It's people like all of you, all of those eyes in the skies each and every day surrounding this planet, keeping your eyes upward and photographing anomalies that you see that are really not natural. So that, again, is where the team effort comes into play. With Planet X News and Dr. Albers, yeah, we need each and every one of you. We can't do this all on our own. We do rely on all of your observations, because there comes a time, once again, just like Gina captured. Just an ordinary person out there living her life, and this is what she's captured. And this proves a lot to me. This definitely proves that there are problems that occur with this sun simulator. I believe that this sun simulator is also responsible for the additional strength of this so-called sun, the sun burning effect, how rapidly it occurs. I mean, I just told you guys last week, me just driving 30 minutes in my car with my arm hanging out the window, my one arm is completely blistered. It is now like all the little blisters have scabbed over and it's itching like crazy. But I'm almost to the point now where if I go outside, I'm going to be wearing a hat and a thin, long-sleeved shirt, because I don't want this to happen again. And with the heat wave that is upon us in different areas of the world, it's going to be an interesting time. But Dr. Albers, in this photograph, I mean, I guess you definitely agree with me that that sun simulator was definitely out of sync on this day.
Definitely. Not by much, but definitely out of sync, so we could see the real sun. You know, but the fact that the real sun, what's so interesting to me is that the real sun looks so dark orange. That definitely goes along with what I've been saying, that the sun is being drained and getting weaker and basically dying.
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing with the color of the real sun, which is right up here. I'll just leave my cursor right there. And you know, and also that color that was being cast, and possibly even the thickness of the atmosphere, you know, even obscuring the coloration, because she is from Indiana. They've been experiencing some intense heat, and I started working on this video on June 25th, just a couple of days ago. So this video is not old. It's just a few days. I think she might have posted it June 21st, 22nd, 23rd, maybe somewhere around there. And that's when I got in touch with her and worked on the video, checked it out in depth, spent many days working on it, looking at it, making sure that it just wasn't some type of camera anomaly. And you do have to be careful with those.
Yes.
But when viewing that video, I converted it into a much higher definition, stabilized it a little bit to stop the shaking. And lo and behold, you know, I was pretty, I was like, wow.
Yeah, but going back to this UVC radiation, Scott, I started out thinking that the simulators are emitting UVC radiation. That's to be expected. However, the effects seem to keep on increasing. And to me, this means that it's not just the simulators that are producing this radiation. Also, the simulator is in one place in the sky only. And what we are getting is increased radiation from all over the sky. And that to me means that it's not just the simulators, that the stellar cores that are interacting with the Earth are producing this radiation within our atmosphere because they make connections. We see them making the connections with the sun, within the sun's atmosphere, which is the corona. So they would make connections with the Earth in the same way. And they make these electric connections, these plasma connections. They would do the same with the Earth. And we would then get ultraviolet radiation being emitted from these regions where they are making the connections. And this is likely why we are having increasing levels of UVC radiation in our atmosphere.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the burn on my arm was,
it's not normal.
Yeah, was definitely intense. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and move quickly to this Brazilian news telecast, and it's in Portuguese. So, Dr. Albers, I'm going to let the news broadcast, I'm going to let it play in its entirety. But
Okay.
I want you to listen very carefully because they're speaking Portuguese, and a lot of us aren't bilingual, such as yourself. So I want you to get the gist of what they are saying back and forth between the newscasters, and then you can translate after the video is over. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with everybody. Check it out because I thought it was pretty cool. Here we go.
América, já na chegada ao Trevo das Margaridas, olha, o tráfego é pesado na Dutra, mas na Avenida Brasil também não está dos melhores, não. Quem está saindo da Dutra para a Avenida Brasil está encontrando esse trânsito congestionado, pelo menos entre o Trevo das Margaridas e o trecho da Penha, tá vendo só? Aí é o Jardim América, já na chegada à Parada de Lucas, situação bem difícil por aqui. O pessoal que está saindo nesse momento, repito, da Zona Oeste para o centro da cidade, deve ter um pouco de paciência, porque o tráfego está pesado. Olha ele aí surgindo lindo no horizonte, Silvana, para você, Silvana.
Ah, obrigada, Genilson. Olha aí, Pachel. Genilson me presenteando com a bola de fogo.
Tá bom, segunda-feira tá bom. Você promete o inverno, chega o calor, tá aí, ó. Toma o sol pra você. Vamos lá, previsão do tempo.
Vamos lá, gente. Vamos entender o que está acontecendo. A gente está aí num veraneio básico.
América, já na chegada.
Okay, real quick, folks. I'm going to jump to about right here. Let me back up just a little bit.
Surgindo lindo no horizonte, Silvana, para você, Silvana.
Ah, obrigada, Genilson. Olha aí.
I'm going to stop it right there. And do you think, Dr. Albers, that they were caught off guard? What are they saying about this?
They didn't say much about the sun. They were talking about the traffic problems and so on. And then they said something about how nice the sun looks. that looks extremely strange. To tell you the truth, when I first looked at it, I thought, is one a reflection of the other? But they're not even the same color.
Yeah, and the one at the bottom is obscured by some cloud cover off in the distance.
So the bottom one is very orange. The top one is more yellow. You see that? But there is a haze in the atmosphere here. It could be pollution. I'm not sure, but it's definitely a haze there.
Rio de Janeiro. That is Rio.
It's a heavy haze, and it's very orangey. So that would make both objects more orange than they actually are. But definitely the bottom one is extremely orange. The top one is more yellow. But there's a white part to it. So probably the top one is the simulator, and the bottom one somehow it's the real one again.
Now, something I want to point out.
I'm not sure, but
if you look at the alignment of the two objects, if it was a ghosted image or a camera anomaly, they would pretty well be directly in line. But if you put a straight line down here,
they're not quite in alignment now.
Yeah, they're not in alignment. So that's telling me that one object up there is a device, and maybe one. I would have to say this would be the real sun, because you know why? This coincides with Gina's video. The same color of the natural sun.
Yes.
But this is being obscured by the beautiful skies of Rio de Janeiro. And look at that.
But definitely it's not a lens anomaly, because again, they don't have the same shape. You know, a lens anomaly, a lens flare would have the same shape as the real object. So and plus the lens flare is always not as bright as the real object. So we don't have that here.
Now let's do a little bit of editing on this video real quick. I just want to see what we can bring out real quick. It's real quick here. Yeah, it definitely looks strange.
It looks very strange, Scott. Very, very strange.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Let me undo all of these. Let's back out of here just a little bit. Just change the lighting a little bit here, and
they certainly have huge traffic problems there.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Just changing some exposure here. Because of that bad haze.
Yeah, the haze is very bad.
And you could definitely see this one is definitely different. Way.
Yes, it is. Two independent objects, I would say.
Yeah, just let me mess around with the color here real quick. Take it to black and white.
Yes. Look at that one. It's got an edge around it, the top one. That's characteristic of the simulator, because the real sun doesn't have a dark edge around it. The real sun is just a solid color, a clear circular outline. So that shows that's the sun simulator. The real sun will be just bright. It would never have a dark edge or a dark outline around it, like we see that one has. Or sometimes the ISS ones definitely has that.
Yeah, this is now this is showing the characteristics of the sun. If you see, as I turn it from black and white.
Yeah, we definitely seem to have two different objects there. And part of that top one, as you can see, is white. It's not even the whole thing is yellow. There's a spot on it that's white. And that, our real sun would never do a thing like that.
Yeah, that is kind of weird that
I mean, first of all, it would never look white. The fact that this one has a part to it that is white shows us that that cannot be our sun. The orange one below doesn't have that. It's a solid color. It doesn't have any white in it. So that's more likely to be the real sun.
yeah, definitely very, very strange.
It's very strange.
Good capture by the news station. I don't personally think that they were ready for that. To me, they looked kind of surprised. And then them not saying anything about it, you know, mentioning, oh, look at that beautiful sunset. And we've seen this happen before. It happened over in China. They televised it. It happened over in Russia on the news. They televised it. It happened, I believe, in Chicago on the news, and they televised it. And there was another news station.
There was that one in that airport, I think in Indonesia or Thailand. I'm not
yes,
sure.
just recently. Yeah, I reported on that.
Yeah.
Yes, that was in an airport in Indonesia, filmed clear as a bell. We did a story on it. I did an article on it for our website.
Yes.
And yeah, most definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we may be seeing the breakdown a little bit from time to time of this sun simulator covering up our real sun and what is happening out there. Jeff P., as I mentioned in the very beginning of our live stream, folks, Jeff has done some fantastic background work on this sun simulator, and he has caught, I think, some of the best proof and evidence of this sun simulator, and he's devoted a lot of his time to divulging this information to each and every one of us. So once again, folks, if you want to help Jeff P. out, that GoFundMe link will be in the description box. You can go to his YouTube channel and you can watch his latest video. The link is also there. And if you respect Jeff for his dedication and his research at the time of need, all of us need to stick together. And if you can reach deep in your heart and help his family out, that would be fantastic. Dr. Albers and I will be making our donation to Jeff and his family here very shortly. And if you do help, folks, my hat's off to you. Fantastic. Financially, if you can't, hey, no problem. Keep sharing the videos. Keep staying tuned in to Planet X News and our Planet X physicist, Dr. Claudia Albers, and also Jeff P. We're looking forward to our endeavors with Real Dot Video upcoming. Hopefully everything does kick off on the 4th of July. How ironic it will be on Independence Day here in what we call the United States of America, that is being ripped apart piece by piece each and every day. Dr. Albers, any last words before we end our live stream?
I think I'd like to mention something that you said about astronomy and physicists. And I'd like to say that, first of all, as a lecturer who lectured to people who were then going on to become astronomers, I have to say that astronomers are, first of all, physicists, that they are trained to think like a physicist, first of all. They are trying to do problem solving like physicists. They are trying to think in a logical manner like physicists. They are trying to think logically and deductively like physicists. And then they get additional training in astronomy. But they are physicists, first of all. And in the same way, I mean, I have lectured some basic astronomy as part of my courses. Astronomy is part of physics, and you cannot do astronomy without being trained as a physicist. So the fact that people saying, oh, I'm not an astronomer, or that person's an astronomer, or that person's a physicist, there isn't that such a separation. All physicists will specialize in some field. Some will go into particle physics, some will go into astronomy, but the basic training is as a physicist. So it's crazy to do this kind of separation. And the other thing is, every physicist can go into a new field because they have the basics. You then learn whatever else you need to do. It's sometimes even moving within the same field, you need to specialize just a little bit more to go into a different niche. Physicists do this all the time. We are learning all the time. So astronomy should not be such a separation from physics itself. And the other thing is that I'm actually surprised that astronomers are making the kind of mistakes that I see them making nowadays. For example, there's what is called
Umau.
Now they're saying that this object is a comet because it's accelerating away from the sun. This is absolutely ridiculous. What they are saying is that comets do not obey Kepler's laws. I mean, they should know better. Kepler's laws is the basics of astronomy. If they believe that every object in the universe obeys gravitational law, which is Newton's law, they would know that all comets obey Kepler's laws. And therefore, it's impossible for an object to accelerate away from the sun. It's violating Kepler's laws. It does not mean that it's a comet. It means something else. It means that either the object is accelerating towards another object that's just outside the solar system, that's pulling it in, or it's not a natural object. It's a starship.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting. It's definitely a very interesting article. You know, it came back into the news, and I'm going to go ahead and pop
But this means that astronomers are ignoring the fact that evidence shows that gravity doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. And yet when they come up with something like this, they abandon all logic and say that comets do not obey Kepler's laws. This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot understand how astronomers can abandon physics thought like this, Scott.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, I was reading the information when I think it's they pronounce it Umau.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. And the latest story is coming out, and I did a short story on this in a short video. And, you know, they were saying that it's moving at a much, much faster pace out of our solar system due to outgassing. That is propelling.
That's the other thing that is, I'm going to write an article. It's absolutely ridiculous because if it was, the way we know that it's a comet is if it develops a tail. I have not seen any data that shows that this thing now has a tail. Plus, a tail, don't forget, is always in a certain direction. And it cannot possibly be strong enough to overcome the gravitational attraction of a star like the sun. This is absolutely ridiculous that they came up with an idea like this.
Yeah, see, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you hear Dr. Albers getting fired up like this just goes to show you in the early stages and the discovery of, I think it's Umau, we'll just call it that for now. Scientists were saying, oh, you know, we think that it has a metallic outer shell. Oh, we've never seen a rock like this shape coming out of nowhere and blitzing through our solar system and then being catapulted right back out by our sun. It's very, very interesting. This is one of the situations where, yeah, science and astronomy doesn't know everything. They're making observations. Are they telling us the complete truth? Probably not. But it is very, very strange.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to me, it almost looks like something out of a space movie. But once again, you know, things change minute by minute, second by second in space. Nobody knows it all.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely an interstellar object. It's following a hyperbolic orbit. But even in an hyperbolic orbit, these objects that obey the gravitational law, and there's nothing to suggest that this object is a stellar core, so it's a normal object. It will obey normal gravitational law, which is Newton's law. You will obey Kepler's law, and it will have to move at its fastest, at its closest position to the sun. And as it moves out, and don't forget, if it acts like a comet, and I think James McCanney has shown that comets are not outgassing, they are pulling in material. But even if it was outgassing, the tail is always away from the sun. And if the outgassing was then causing an acceleration, it will cause it to slow down, not speed up. This is absolutely ridiculous that astronomers cannot think any clearly. I mean, a first-year student would not make these stupid mistakes that these astronomers are doing, Scott.
There you go, Dr. Albers. Lay it out there, baby. Lay it out there. I like to hear that spice being fired up.
No, to me, it's absolutely ridiculous that they would say things like this.
Well, I mean, you know how that mainstream media and mainstream science is, man. You know, they're all about keeping their funding and keeping in line with what they're paid to do.
Yes.
Let's just put it out there like that. Well, anyways, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure talking with all of you, talking with Dr. Albers, and showing you some of what we've uncovered. You know, ladies and gentlemen, there is so much happening minute by minute. And last week, I rolled out somewhat of a new format for Planet X News in getting some of these short video reports out there. And they are directly linked to the full article on our Planet X News website. And there, you can click on the link in the description box under the video. It will take you directly to the main article on our website. Now, as I mentioned before, I govern our website. Okay, not YouTube, not Google, not Facebook. So I figured it would give all of you a better platform to go and see this information. Share that information, because you can share everything from our website. It gives you a lot more detailed information. It allows me to get more information out to each and every one of you that is definitely important. So the new little video formats, they're basically an introduction to these articles, giving you a link to click on and go check it out. So I think it's working very, very well. A lot of you have sent me tremendous amounts of emails and inbox messages telling me how, you like this format. Those videos are quick. They're about a minute to a minute and a half. It tells you about what the article consists of, and it gives you the opportunity to click on that link and go check out the full report. And those reports contain on-the-spot videos. So the reports are very informative. I appreciate all of the feedback. It's been perfectly positive. I like that, and it allows me to get a lot more news out to you, and it also gives you more opportunities to share it with your friends and your family members, keeping them in the loop, bringing them up to speed, and educating them. Dr. Albers, I would like to thank you for being here with us tonight. Jeff P., if you're out there, listen, buddy, I consider you a very good friend of mine. I love your dedication to your work. I love the way that you are standing by everything that you have produced for each and every one of us. You have opened up my eyes and Dr. Albers and tens of thousands of other people. It is not the time to quit. It is the time to move forward. And you know deep in your heart that we all love you. We will all support you. And I am going to recommend that a channel over at real.video be created for you. I'll be in touch with you to give you the information on how to do it. And I think the world needs to see your discoveries and your research and your documentation, your observations. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you are subscribed to Jeff P. If you are able to help out with that GoFundMe account, please do so. If not, at least stick by Jeff P. Stay tuned to Planet X News and make sure that you are following and subscribed to all of us, including our Planet X physicist, Dr. Claudia Albers. Whenever the documentary is finished and uploaded to the REN TV Network's website, we will all sit together and watch the entire interview right here on Planet X News. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, please be very careful of the sun. For everybody here in the United States, the upcoming 4th of July weekend, please be very, very safe. Think about protecting yourself from the sun. Have a safe holiday. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, and thank you very much from Planet X News and our Planet X physicist, Dr. Claudia Albers. Good evening, everybody. Take care.